Hello, I'm Jill at engVid.com, and today's lesson is on 7 time expressions. Okay, 7 different ways of using the word time with slightly different meanings. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first one is on time. If you're on time, that means you're exactly on the arriving at the time agreed. If you're coming for an 11 o'clock meeting, you arrive at 11 o'clock. It's what we call on the dot. On the dot, meaning the dot on the clock. So you can say the train left on time. On the timetable for the train is supposed to leave at 12 o'clock, and it does leave exactly at 12 o'clock. So on time is exactly on the dot, okay? Not before, not after, but exactly on time. Okay. Right, next one. In time. So just by changing the preposition from on to in time. So here's an example sentence. Don't worry, we'll be in time to catch the train. So you're going to catch a train. Somebody is worried you're going to be late. You will miss the train. But someone else says, no, it's okay. I know how long it takes to get to the station. We will be in time to catch the train. So that means you will arrive at the station a number of minutes before the train is due to leave. So comfortably a number of minutes where you're not having to run because you think you're going to miss it. So we'll be in time, don't worry. Okay. And then moving on from that one, in good time means you have even more time. Lots of time. So we arrived in good time for the coach trip. If you're going on a coach trip for the day, a day trip into the countryside or something, you have to arrive at the departure place by, say, 12 o'clock. If you arrive at 11:30, that's a whole half hour before the coach leaves. So you could say that's in good time. It means plenty of time. Plenty of time. You can arrive, you have half an hour, you can relax. Okay. So that's in good time. And then the other, going back the other way again, just in time. We caught the train just in time before it left. So that's very close to the departure time. So the departure time, the time that it's scheduled to leave, just in time. So maybe the train is due to leave at 12 and you get on the train at 1 minute to 12. So it's that close. Just in time. Okay, so that's like about a minute before. This one, only just in time, is even less than that. So we were only just in time to catch the train. If you're only just in time, maybe it was 10 seconds before the train left, or 5 seconds, very, very close to leaving. You know, the guy was blowing the whistle and the doors were slamming or the doors were closing. Only just in time. It means you nearly missed it. Okay. So you're probably out of breath and you sit down and you think, oh, we made it. Only just in time. Okay. And then this one. In the meantime is when you have some time to fill in before something else happens. So you've gone to see a film, for example, and you're at the cinema, but the film doesn't start for another hour. So we have an hour before the film starts. So what do you do for an hour? So in the meantime, while we're waiting, while in that hour that we have to spare, what shall we do? Shall we go for coffee? So in the meantime is something you do to fill in the time while you're waiting for something else. Okay. And then finally, in this first half of the lesson, it's about time, or you can make it a question, isn't it about time? Is when you think something is overdue. So, if something is overdue, you've been waiting for something and it hasn't happened. And you think, oh, it's about time that happened. Or, isn't it about time that happened? We've been waiting now a long time. So, the sort of thing you might say at work, for example, if you've worked for a company for 10 years and maybe you've never had a pay rise, that's a bit extreme, 10 years without a pay rise. But anyway, this is just an example. So you could say, I think it's about time I got a pay rise. This is in the past tense. You wouldn't say it's about time I get a pay rise. It's about time I got a pay rise, because it's a kind of conditional thing. You haven't got a pay rise, so it's about time I got a pay rise. It's almost a kind of subjunctive form. Okay. And then you can turn that into, you can add a question about the pay rise, and then you think, and isn't it about time I got a promotion too, after 10 years? So that's using it as a statement. I think it's about time I got a pay rise. And then you can use the question form, and isn't it about time I got a promotion too? Okay, so that's 7 different time expressions, and in the second half of the lesson we have a little test where you can fill in the gaps in some sentences. Okay, so let's have a look at these sentences which have gaps for all the time expressions. Okay, so the first one. To avoid stress, I made sure that I arrived for the interview. I'll go through them first, then we'll go back over it. We were for the coach. The project was completed right on schedule. Isn't it? Something was done about that empty building. If we don't arrive at the theatre for the start, they won't let us in. My friend will be here in 2 hours, so I'll do some homework. Sorry, housework, not homework. Do some cleaning around the house. Okay. And finally, we thought we'd be late, but we arrived to see the start of the film. Okay, so there are 7 sentences there, and we have 7 time expressions to fit in, 1 of each. So let's have a look. So, you're going for an interview, which is stressful anyway. So to avoid stress, I made sure that I arrived for the interview. So the idea is here that you have plenty of time, okay? Not just a minute before the interview begins, but lots of time so that you can relax a little bit. So which one is that? I made sure that I arrived. The number of words, of course, gives you a clue. So in something, time. So not just in time. You could say that. I made sure that I arrived in time for the interview, but everybody tries to do that. If you want a little bit of extra time to be able to sit down and relax, what's the other word? In good time. Okay. In good time for the interview. Plenty of time to spare. Okay. Right, next one. Now we have 4 words here for the coach. So a coach is setting off on a day trip or something. And this situation, you nearly missed it. You nearly missed the coach. So another 2 seconds and the driver would not have seen you and let you onto the coach. He probably had already closed the doors, and then at the last moment he saw you and opened the doors and let you onto the coach. So it was very, very close to missing the coach. So time comes here. Can you remember the other words? In time. You were in time. We were in time. So only just in time. We were only just in time for the coach. Okay, right, next one. The project was completed right on schedule. So this means the same as right on schedule, on the dot. The date it was meant to be completed, that is the date it was completed. So it was completed. So we have time here, which is the preposition that you put with it when it's on the dot. Well, this gives you a clue. On schedule, on the dot, on time. Okay, exactly, precisely. Okay, good. So, then we have a question. Isn't it something was done about that empty building? There's an empty building. Maybe it's been empty for 10 years or more, and it's in bad condition probably. It's boarded up. It looks terrible. You wish somebody would do something about it. Open it up and use it. Renovate it. Do something nice with it. So you're asking, isn't it? So time goes there. And what's the other word that goes with it when you're asking this question? Isn't it about time? Isn't it about time? Something was, subjunctive, done about that empty building. It's terrible the way it's just been left. Okay, good. Next one. If we don't arrive at the theatre for the start of the play, they won't let us in. Some theatres, if you're not there, they close the doors. They don't let you in to the performance space, the auditorium, because you will disturb other people and disturb the performers as well. So sometimes they won't let people in if they're late. So if we don't arrive at the theatre, so this would be time. So you have to be there before the start time. So what preposition goes here? If we don't arrive at the theatre in time for the start, they won't let us in. Okay. Right, next one. My friend will be here. You're at home expecting your friend. My friend will be here in 2 hours. You have 2 whole hours. Are you going to just sit there and wait for 2 hours? No. So, hopefully not, unless you want to meditate, or that's useful. It's always good to use the time somehow in a constructive way, even if it's meditating. That's good. Or sleeping, maybe, as long as you're using it for something and not just wasting time. Okay. My friend will be here in 2 hours, so I'll do some housework. So that's a very useful thing to do while you're waiting. So what do we put in here when you're filling in some time by doing something else while you're waiting? So we have a word here that ends with time, but it's a longer word. Do you remember that one? Beginning with M. Meantime. Okay. So that's meantime. So in the meantime, I'll do some housework. Okay. And then finally, we thought we'd be late, but we arrived to see the start of the film. So you thought you were going to be late, but you weren't. You were very close to being late, though. So this is that one where you're very close to being late, but maybe with 1 minute to spare, you get into your seats and then the film starts. So we arrived something time. That's in time. What's the word here? We arrived just in time. Okay, we had only just in time there, which is even closer to being late. This wasn't quite as close to being late, just in time to see the start of the film. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. So also, if you would like to go to the website engVid.com, there is a quiz there to test you a little bit further on this subject. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye for now.